Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life Stories. I'm so glad that you're here. I say that every week, but I mean it every week. I'm thankful that you are listening. So today on the podcast, I want to talk about my reflections as I am nearing 50. This year, I will turn 50, and, it definitely is making me think. I didn't like the idea of turning 30 because 30 sounded old back then. Now it just makes me laugh because I have 30-year-old children. When I turned 40, I was excited to turn 40 because I felt like people might take me seriously. I look younger than I am, which I'm thankful for now. I was not thankful when I was 17 and had a baby and married and looked like I was 12. I wasn't thankful at that time. I'm thankful now that I look younger than I am. But people didn't take me seriously for a while, I feel like, because I looked a lot younger than I was. And I was a very young mom with children. What is your first thought when you see a young mom in the grocery store with a bunch of kids? What's your first thought about her? Are you proud of her? Do you think about the good things she's doing? Or do you look at her and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's got that many kids. What is she thinking? Yeah, that's my first thought too. And I lived it. So don't try to pretend like you don't think those same things. But I felt like people didn't take me seriously. And I understand why now. But 40 felt like to me, it was an age where I was a grown up. Like, I don't know why 40 was it. So 50, I don't feel old. Like, in my head, I'm still 25. I don't know how my kids are 30, but in my head, I feel like I'm still 25, which is a good thing. That is a good thing. I want my mind to be that young. My body is a totally different story. I definitely feel 50 in my body. Anyway, I've just been thinking about a lot of different things. I'm not going to list 50 of them. But before we do that, let's talk about the word of the week.
It's the word of the week.
The word of the week this week is perspective. Every year that I've gotten older, my perspective has changed. Or as my circumstances have changed, my perspective has changed. And I think that's a good thing. I think that not that we need to always agree with the people around us, because I don't think that's true at all. But I do think we need to have our perspectives change sometimes. We need to look at things from a different perspective. Sometimes we have friends or people that we love that are going through hard things. And sometimes you can see something in their life that they can't see. Not just a blind spot, but maybe the bigger picture. Maybe they are so focused on a problem or an issue that they can't see the bigger picture, or they can't see further down the road like you can. And so sometimes giving someone a different perspective can be helpful. That's what I hope that I can do is look at things from different perspectives, look at situations, especially if I'm frustrated, if I'm getting angry, or, I have this problem that just keeps coming up. I need to maybe take a different perspective and look at things differently. So one of the things I've realized, this is not just about turning 50, this is every day of my life. The older I get, the more I realize how much I don't know, how much I don't have figured out, or how much help I need from God. I mean, that's just the truth. I call myself a Christian because I follow Christ, not because I'm perfect, because I am so far from perfect. It's just not even funny. And so every day I am more aware of the fact that I need God. I need his help. I need him to provide for me and for my family. And I need wisdom on, situations and decisions. And I need him to take care of me because I can't do it alone. I can't imagine living this life and trying to figure everything out on my own without the Lord's help. I don't know how you do it. I can't imagine. Another thing that I think about often is the fact that I just don't care about certain things like I used to. I used to walk an offense. I would get offended at everything and everybody. And if somebody looked at me wrong or said something, I assumed it was my fault and I did something wrong, and, or they were just rude and it was all their fault, whatever. I always walked an offense. I mean, for years I did that. I took everything personally when most of the time it had nothing to do with me. I refuse to do that anymore. I just don't care. I don't care about people's opinions like I used to. I used to, and I'm not saying I gave this up a long time ago. I'm saying this has taken until this age to be able to learn how other people's opinions don't matter. My dad used to say, opinions are like armpits. Everybody's got them and they all stink. And that is the truth. I offer my opinions sometimes, and probably more than I should. And I don't do it. I do it to try to be helpful. I do it to try to be encouraging. I don't offer negative opinions, but even positive opinions are not always necessary. Not everybody wants to know everything that you think. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes, just because I try to be helpful and I probably talk too much, which is why it's good that I have a podcast. I can get all these words out here. But people's opinions of me just don't matter. If I waited to start this podcast until I feel like everybody approved of what I was doing, then I would not have had one episode. Not one. I am thankful for the people who have given me reviews. I'm thankful for the people that say kind things and tell me that they're listening and it's encouraging. I'm thankful for that, but I don't do it just because of that. I don't do it to get that approval or to learn what people think about it. I do it just because I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Another thing I definitely realize, and I know you do too, is that time is fleeting. The older I get, the more I realize that time is fleeting. It is going by so fast. And sometimes I'm thankful, and sometimes I'm just, my grandkids, they're getting too big too quickly. I mean, I just can't believe how old they are already. Like, how did this happen? It seemed like they were just born yesterday. I don't understand. It seems like all my kids were living in my house yesterday, and my daughter, before she moved out, she'd come sit on my bed and talk to me, and then she moved out, and then my oldest son would come sit on my bed and talk to me. Every night they would do this, every night. And it seems like that happened last week. Like, it doesn't seem like it was 7 or 8 years ago or whenever, I don't know what year he moved out. It just seems like it was just happening. And so I don't understand why time is flying by so fast, but it is. And so I think, the older I get, and probably the older you get, you realize how much you need to appreciate the moments that you have with your friends and your family and the people that are around you. You need to appreciate the things that you have and the fact that you're healthy and you can do what you can do. I try to start off each day like that, just, being thankful for rest, being thankful for a comfortable bed and a house to protect us from the weather or whatever, just being thankful for the simple things. I think I've said this before, but I heard one time online, somebody said, what if you only woke up tomorrow with the things you thanked God for today? Now, thankfully, that's not how it works. He doesn't take everything away just because you didn't say thank you every single day. But he does tell us that we are supposed to be thankful. And so I try to start each day like that. If I'm frustrated with my animals or, my husband or whoever, when I wake up, maybe my heart is not as thankful as it should be. But I try to, because it's important. We need to be thankful. I think another important thing, and this is probably the last one I'll mention, that I've learned over the years is that I'm thankful for all of my friends. I'm thankful for the relationships that I have, but I cannot hold on too tightly to those relationships. They are a blessing and they're a gift. And if God brings people into our lives and they stay, a lot of people over the years that he's brought in my life and they're not still here. But then I have some that I've had for 30 and 40 years. The people that he brings into our life, I believe he does it for a reason. He allows us to have those friendships and relationships for a reason. And I want to be thankful for that. And I want to grow and learn and help and do the things I need to. But I also have to stay focused on what he's called me to do. I think I spent a lot of time, it's like we're all on this walk, on this road of life. And I think I feel like I've spent a lot of time just sitting and watching people go by, watching what everybody else was doing and just sitting and not doing what I needed to do, not doing what God called me to do. And, I didn't get anything done. I'd get jealous and envious of people that were accomplishing things, and I wasn't doing anything. Let me rephrase that. I was doing stuff. I was raising kids. I wasn't just sitting. But my point is, I've spent a lot of time watching other people do things instead of doing what I'm called to do. I've been focused on what they wanted and needed, and even though there's a place for that, that can't be your focus all the time. It just can't. And I've learned that. I'm thankful for my friendships. They are not the top priority in my life. My relationship with God is, my relationship with my husband and my children and grandchildren. Those are my top priorities. the other stuff is just a gift. It is something that I'm very, very thankful for every day. But it can't be so consuming in my life that I can't do what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if that made any sense at all. It made sense to me, but I hope it made sense to you. I hope that today maybe you'll look at situations or the people in your life that need help or need just a word of encouragement, and that maybe you can help them have a different perspective, or maybe it's you. Maybe you need to take a different perspective on a situation or a relationship or something. I hope I've encouraged you today. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.